Thanks for staying with us. Now, going back to the story. So yesterday, as I said before, we talked about joint accounts and all that. I wanted to hear your own perspective concerning it because you know a lot of women and men who have been victims. But I will link it to the story Tokwe introduced earlier, which is a different topic entirely, which is the fact that a young girl worked so hard for her money, was able to get a flat, I think it's a bedroom flat, got tenants, you know, and flats. Then it's flats, right? And when she now finally about to get married, her husband said, her husband-to-be said, okay, all this, your fine property, everything that you have, yeah, transfer it to my name because you are now under my control. You're submitting to me as your head of the house. So all your properties that you have been having. Is that the right thing to do? So I would like you to, I'll start with you for the first one and then the second one.
So like I was saying earlier, that for women who are not empowered, who give small, and don't think it counts, if you're able to show that you advance something, that principle of advancement covers such women, where the law says that, okay, now you're now joint owners. Because even though it wasn't a contract, you were giving. But abroad it's been vacated. I don't have the present realities of our laws or court decisions on it now. But in a situation like this that we have, where a young girl has worked so hard for her property, legally and religiously, you have a right to own your own, just as you have a right to be married, and you don't have to mix the two. It is that line of abuse that we now start to use godly means and explain women into giving out. So a man who is confident in himself would not ask her to do that. Also, as a young girl, the moment you own a flat, this young girl in question had 8 flats. God bless her very well. She was wise in investing. And she had 8 flat buildings that she had invested in. She had an account that was well-funded, that her wise spending when she joined a career had helped her to gather. She should do a will that covers every and all of her dependents. Why I'm saying that is that when you are married to such a person and you don't have a will, that person automatically becomes your next of kin and can disinherit all your other dependents. So for a young girl like that who had elder ones and parents living, something can happen, anything can happen. Based on my experience, people die suddenly. You leave your estate, you die intestate, you leave your estate to the mercy, and the court's decision is when there is a marriage certificate, that person becomes your next of kin. And if the person is not as generous or, objective in thought, and think of all of the people that loves you, that you love, that you would have loved, that your wealth take care of. He will just sit on everything. And he spends...
That is seen as on one side. There's a different angle where a woman has given everything, total submission, where I give everything I've earned and I hand it over to my husband because I trust him and he's wise enough to take a decision. And that's he does something big for the whole family. Eventually, he makes a lot of money and he hands everything over to me. So in the long run, it was beneficial to me. So there are two sides of the story, because there are stories where the man starts really small, the man is doing well, and she hands over entire business to the man. He then does it so much better. So is there a yardstick to determine at what point should I hand over or should I not hand over? That's really the question. Because you're submitting, at the same time you're not submitting.
Okay, so we discussed this thing a bit yesterday, and obviously, we know that there's still more scenarios to it. There are different... Each partner in a relationship are 2 different people from different walks of life and different experiences. And the conversation the conversation should be had between the couple to understand. But that's the ideal circumstance, where you are in a relationship with someone who respects your opinion and is willing to listen to you. But that's not the reality in many marriages. There are many marriages where the conversations are one-sided. It's I have said this, you obey me. It is, I am the head, and this is the way the family would go. Submit your entire income into and I will decide how it is going to be spent. And my thought yesterday was, if you find yourself in a situation where you cannot legislate as a family on how money is going to be shared, then obviously there are issues in that marriage, and you can still choose to keep the marriage going together, but you must find a way to protect your interest financially if anything happens.
What if your husband is trying to test you? You know, wanted to see how you are. You know, there's always that angle. You know, just test if she's totally committed to me, and then you fail the test, and you see you don't to hand over your.
We have failed it now. We have failed it. Then we have failed it.
Yeah, because like, this is where even single people in singles have that drama of test that you now say you don't give me money, you don't do anything. You're trying to know if I genuinely love you before you now marry the person. I feel like you should. There's no testing in the matter. Have a conversation and expect honesty from one another. But like Nima said, people should write wills, and we don't take it seriously because we expect that. I had a conversation with my husband after that stuff, and my question was, who is your next of kin? Because you know you mentioned it. What's the name? Yes, what name is in your next of kin? Did you update after we got married? Because it's not something we thought to discuss. But like, am I the one in all your accounts next of kin?
That's a good question to ask.
Yes, because I had to change my previous account when I went to change my name. Because they asked that, do I want to update everything that has to do with my contact? But when I changed my name in my account officially, I now asked that they change, because my mom was the one on all my next of kin when I was single. And it would have remained that way if I did not deliberately go and change the particular decision.
I made sure I didn't marry under the act. I didn't go to any registry to marry. I married Islamically. So when you live a life like this and die, the Quranic heirs automatically takes care of whatever I have and leave behind, so that my husband cannot just be on it.
So you're not married legally?
I'm married legally. Islamic.
But not under the marriage
recognized under the laws of Nigeria. Very well recognized. But not go to the marriage, so that the Marriage Act does not take over my interests. If I do that, immediately my husband becomes my only next of kin, except maybe my children. If I die without children. No. I just wanted Islamic laws to govern everything that I do. So that's why I deliberately did that. Then there was a mistake that I used to do. When I started my business at 17, I opened an account and my next of kin was my brother. And when I got married, he was still my brother till maybe when I was pregnant. And my husband, immediately we got married, documented everything. Immediately, in fact, 2 weeks, was saying, where's the certificate? I need to stop at the office. And I became next of kin. So one day I was just standing in the bank and I saw a woman and a man arguing. I was like, they were brothers and sisters, and one had mismanaged things. So that security women used to have that. No, it's only my blood. Your blood can just be one nonsense person. And then there's also the very important, even if your blood is the correct person, he will start his own family. Do you want to put your own family, maybe your children, in a position where they have to depend on another person who has his own family to take care of, who you now have estates that your brother, as your next of kin, has taken over, used or for his personal gain? Your children cannot fight it because you did not change anything. They will go to your last place of work, they will receive your packages, and they can decide whether your children will do or they will not. They'll say, well, it's your mother, I'm doing your best interest. And then they protect their own immediate family and wife, because you didn't do the needful. So if you have something, there's always the best part of having it documented.
All right, I want to go back to this young lady. I mean, this topic of the fact that she has 8 flats. She's a young woman. She's about to get married. And everybody's telling her, you have to submit to your husband. That's your job, submit. Whatever he says is law. And he's saying, this your properties.
Change the deed of assignment into my name.
Change it to my name. Now, there are 2 things. He might be doing that because he wants to take advantage, or he wants to help her. We don't know. We never know that. So what are your thoughts?
Without taking it.
There are different ways. Let me get from her.
The story is that she was asking what to do. So she's actually considering, you know, she's not sure what the right thing to do is. And, you know, she also said that when she told him about it, it took him a while. I think he had gone home, thought about it, and then called her to give her what she needs to do. So it also seems like he has taken advice from someone. I think we're not giving the right advice to young people. This thing that that young man said, that she said, her fiancé said, is things I've heard people who are not married say. And you see people who are married, they have a different sort of conversation, because we understand this marriage thing is a journey. Coming in and saying, write me your asset, pass this to me, even if you wanted that. You know, there's something that happens within marriage, that things that are away from you and closed off from you become open, and you share it. If you understood that, had that maturity, that is not the time to be asking her to give him anything. But what most importantly, it is not his to have. It is not his own. This is hers, and she's bringing it as a bonus.
Have become one.
Yes, to have become one in other
you have
things.
access to it.
Yes, you have access to it. The benefits of what she has would play out in their marriage, in raising their children, would also provide a cushion for him. He's in a rented apartment. Probably they're able to now get a space that they can start, you know. So money that he would have put towards rent, he'll be able to put towards business or something that they can do together.
All right.
So he should see that as the fact that she has that as a benefit towards how they will grow, not to own it and take it from her.
Let me take Hassan. Hassan, are you there?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning, members of the executive board. Please, you see, this issue of a man asking a wife to transfer the property, that man was an irresponsible man in the first place. I don't see a man dabbling into a property of his wife or putting on her, put all this. I consider that aspect as woman wahala. A woman would always ask you, the house you build, put my name inside. Have you done your will? Have you done this? Have you done that? Women are very conscious of their siblings. And they enjoy women not to join suit with them, not to be in the same way with them. We are very conscious of that. It makes us stronger, and it makes us be on our guard. This issue of women that your money is our money, my money is my money. Men are very much aware of that. And it makes us very strong and responsible.
Father Abraham was willing to sacrifice his only child, you know, because he trusted that he didn't even know what was going to happen. He went there and he took his only child. He laid it all down.
Okay.
Well, he wasn't even sure he was going to, because he was ready to God take it. Either he kill this child or whatever. So he didn't know that God would bring it around. Yeah. He didn't know that. So this is what it seems like they're asking of this woman. Bring all you have. You trust me. You've married me, Abi.
You trust
me as your leader. Bring it now.
Being.
Why can't we trust? Why can't we trust each other to that level?
I think that, you know, when they say, when we throw that statement, your money is our money, my money is my money, people make it look like women are coming from a selfish point of view. But we said it over and over again that it's a family. If at any point in time, both parties must not be selfish about taking responsibility, you must not it's like saying you are letting the house be in darkness because you don't want to buy fuel. Or because my husband cannot afford to buy the fuel generator. All of us will stay inside darkness. Who is suffering? You know, some people actually might do it, but it is totally wrong. Yes, the man's responsibility is to take care of the house, but if for any reason he's unable to do it, someone should make sure the bills are paid. That is what is important. So if a woman is keeping her money, it's not because she's keeping her money so that she can go and be buying something weird at outside. It's so that there is a form of security women have from having their own form, because life has happened to many women around them, and they've been taught to keep something so that if anything goes wrong,
they have been better
protected.
If she said, "Look, let me add your name to all I have."
No.
So let me add your name. So
here's how I think about it. You have acquired the property before you got married, and you are about to get married, not that you are married. Let the man understand that, give it time. Let's get married first. Let's do a few years together. Let's know ourselves a bit more. Whatever belongs to me by law automatically would come to you upon anything happening to me. So it's not like the property that becomes...
Let me take this call. I come tomorrow. Dr. Moyo, are you there?
Well...
See, money, we do this with
as
money.
Money causes problem.
Dr. Moyo, are you there?
So many great...
You're live. Please, go ahead.
Okay. You know, this issue about marriage is about sharing, it's about loving. You have to keep loving every day. You have to keep sharing every day. But, you know, I'm not married, but I know marriage has its own individual experiences, which I'm still learning from different people within my environment and from new ladies. However, there are some things that don't sit right with me. You don't start a marriage with that kind of note. It's risk of exploitation. It looks like you're up to something.
Red flag.
It's the woman that you, on her own, willingly, if a woman loves you, She's ready to give you anything. But women go and borrow to make their men happy. But when you are starting on submit to make up in a country, there's something, the guy is up to something. I don't know, it doesn't justify. And then she should just actually come to her parents. And then she should come to her parents if her parents have successful, happy marriage. Or people within the church, or a lawyer, or a counselor that will give an objective advice. Because when a woman loves, her head is not really correct.
Thank you very much, Dr. Muyo.
Your lawyer you should talk to. So this thing called submission has been a lot of times misconstrued and easily abused. So we see now women, when you are married, you submit your property, some will submit their bodies. And a woman, the one that I saw that broke my heart the most is a woman saying, I have submitted my body, you're pregnant. You have pregnancy, high blood pressure in pregnancy, and the doctors are advising, sign and have a CS so that we can save you. And you allowed a convulsion start while your husband is saying that I have called the village. In my family, they don't do CS. I am a husband, and I will not sign. And your life was being threatened. Your doctors are giving you advice, you are confused. There's no point of confusion cases. As long as you are conscious, you don't need a next of kin for such things. If your eyes are open, if your husband to be is already telling you, sign property to me, don't marry. Because they are marrying property. They're not marrying you. Yes, because it's clear. This is exploitation. If you could have worked this property, did you think that if you had met that person before you did those investments that were wise, you would have them? If the person is saying, transfer them to me, you know, let that person show his own ingenuity in working his own money, his own wisdom in investing, and how wise he's dealing with his own finances before you can say you're trusting in marriage and handing over.
So many bad things.
If you do it just because you are getting married, nothing to show. And the same thing
I think they should have
advice.
Okay, so you see, we have a story of people who have been in a relationship for a long time. He didn't know about this thing that she had. So he loved her enough to want to get married to her. And he was open to say, I am renting. So this is a man that feels, regular Nigerian man, I'm going to marry my wife and take care of her. So this information came just a few days, you know, a few months towards this marriage. So this is a man that already loves her. I feel that he was just ill-advised. I feel this is a young man now has found himself with this new scenario. How do I handle it? And he's gone to one baba that's like, whoa, bro, you're lucky. Just make sure she says everything in your name. And I feel, for me, I feel that's what happens. But he needs to understand that in marriage, some things take time. There's some people who will tell you that when I didn't have anything. She brought everything. And then eventually, you know, she signed me onto this. And it's because he's proved over time that he can be trusted. And some of them even take over and do so much more with what she already has. But you don't come into a relationship and marriage asking somebody to hand over their properties to you.
So I think, you know, we had a caller. We had a caller that said that they should get counseling and legal help. I think that it is extremely important that if you find yourself in a situation, both of you should talk to a counselor and a lawyer, because they might create a document that puts things a bit in trust. That's number one. Number two is, I feel that we've heard many stories of people that will say, buy the property in our future daughter's name, buy the property in our future son's name, and then the person dies and they find out that they actually have somebody whose name is already that on ground.
So, I have to run, but I think this issue is, I think we've been in marriage long enough to know that, listen,
give it time.
Give it time.
Yes,
this early conversation, wait too early. Enter first. After you enter, not just enter, you now do a few years. Before you now say, okay, yes, let's join it. Because property conversation before marriage, I don't think it's
even if you have not entered, and this might be a sign of the kind of fights you'll be having.
Yes, when they even enter marriage. That is all we can take on the show, Nima. We have to wrap up. Have a great weekend. Once again, our hearts go out to the families of those who've lost their lives at the Ikoyi building. And we're really, really hopeful and prayerful that after 4 weeks, this committee that's set up will tell us, get to the root of the matter, and the right people will be persecuted for what has happened. Have a lovely weekend. We'll see you Monday. Bye for now.